Hey, what is going on, Scorpios? Butch here. I am going to do your 1 week read. It is a general read, so it may not resonate with everyone. It is for your sun, moon, rising, and your Venus. For all you cross watchers, roles can be reversed. Always feel free to comment down below. I'm going to be using the Tarot of Dreams. And with all that being said, let's get it. Universe, what's going on for Scorpios? You know what? Scratch that. I didn't like that deck. I didn't like how it felt. So we're going to try another one. Let's get it. Universe, what message do we have for Scorpios? What can we see for Scorpios? This is the Wild Reflections, by the way. If you notice when I was shuffling, it's how it flows for me. If it doesn't flow right, I had to call it. I don't do it very often, but I had to call it. Anyway, so the first thing I see, Scorpios, is I feel like this is someone that you already know. This is someone that you have, already a connection with in one way, shape, or form. Now, for some of you, this is someone that this has been ongoing. For others, this may be someone that this is still fairly new, but it's definitely someone you already know. And I feel like with this person, I feel like there's a lot of hot and cold energy and a lack of communication with that Eight of Swords in reverse and that Five of Pentacles, that hot and cold energy, that in and out, never really getting consistency from them. And it's a lack of communication. And when you do communicate and you voice concerns, I feel like there's a lot of defensive energy from this person, which causes, with that nine of Wands, and we got the Nine of Swords, so I feel like that causes some stress, some anxiety for you. Because I feel like that you see a lot of potential in this person. You see a lot of potential in this connection. With that Page of Wands, the potential is evident. But there's also that feeling. It's that feeling I don't think it's easy for you to shake, that this person is hiding something from you. Your intuition is telling you something with the High Priestess, and they're telling you this person is hiding something from you, and you need to trust your intuition here is what I'm hearing. It's what I'm getting. I'm getting that you need to trust your intuition here, because this hot and cold energy, that Seven of Swords, I feel like they are hiding something. There's a reason why they're defensive, and I feel like they put a lot of work into hiding what they're hiding. And it causes you more grief. With the Ten of Swords, they're putting a lot of work into hiding what they're hiding. So it must be something. People don't put work into hiding something if it's nothing. And that Five of Wands, that inner voice, like I said, your intuition, how you feel and the potential you feel toward this relationship is kind of like in a grudge match, in a boxing match inside of you against your intuition. Your intuition is telling you something that you don't want to hear. Unfortunately, your intuition is not always going to tell you what you want to hear. It's going to tell you what you need to hear. And I feel like there's kind of a struggle going on there. It feels like this person's playing games. And I feel like they are. We have this player energy with the Knight of Wands in reverse. And we have the Three of Pentacles, or Three of Cups in reverse as well. Now, I feel like there is another person involved here, I don't know how far it's gotten, or even if it's even taken off yet. But I feel like this person, you're not the only person that they're spending their time thinking about. Now, like I said, it's not saying how far this has gotten. I'm not saying there's another person that's in this person's life. This other person may not even know they exist. But I feel like your person is thinking about someone else as well. You know, I feel like, unfortunately, the person that you have, I feel like they know what they want from you. I feel like they truly do want to be with you, but I feel like they've been hurt before, and it's like self-sabotaging energy. They can't trust, and they're not open enough to gain trust. They're not open enough to acquire trust. I feel like they know what they're doing. Like with this other person, giving them attention or thinking about this other person, I feel like it's a way to get themselves out of this connection. Like they're trying to, like I said, self-sabotage. They're trying to ruin this connection on purpose. I don't recommend that at all. I love you, Scorpios. But for all you cross watchers out there, let me be very clear. Do not, I repeat, do not mess with a Scorpio. My sister's a Scorpio, and trust me, you don't want to be on the bad side of that. Scorpios are great. They're loyal. You know, they're great people. But it's one of the signs that I would never piss off. I pissed off my sister once, and I remember I've always been a fan of hats, custom hats. And I remember she took some of my hats and threw them in the dryer, which ruined them, because she was pissed off at me because of something I did. Anyway, we're gonna get on with this, but don't do it. If you think it's a good idea, rethink your strategy, because it is not someone you want you want them as a friend, not an enemy. Now with this person, I feel like with the death card, I don't feel like this huge transformation coming where this person is automatically just gonna realize they screwed up and, you know, give into this. They're fighting this foundation. They're fighting being, it's almost like they're afraid of being tied down because they've been tied down before. You know, they've been committed before, and I feel like they got screwed over. So it's like they have this part of them that's telling them, don't let that happen again. Now, I'm not giving them excuse. I'm not giving them a way out here. I'm just telling you what I'm seeing. I feel like they truly care about you. I feel like emotionally, they may not be ready. You know, and it's almost like they're creating an out, or they're, you know, it's, you would be surprised how many times I've seen people self-sabotage and how they do it. We'll get into that later. But like I said, I feel like this person just has a hard time being straight and honest with you. I feel like they were straight and honest with you. I feel like this could get better. You know, I feel like the potential is real here. But I feel like they're just going to make this mistake, and there's nothing really you can do about it. You know, what's going on with this person, I don't see changing anytime soon. I don't see you being able to change it. You know, they have to change it, and I don't see them doing that. You know, and at the end of the day, they're in this self-imposed prison where they're not letting you in, and it's just causing more and more chaos in your life. You know, it's not doing you any good. It's not doing them any good. They care about you. That's evident to me, which makes it make less sense what they're doing. Self-sabotaging is real. It's a real thing, and a lot of people do it. Like, they see the potential in you as well, and the potential in this connection. They're not blind to it. It's like they're covering their eyes, though. and trying to blind themselves to it. I mean, I feel like this person has to make this mistake. You know, I feel like they have to see the problem here. And I don't feel like they're there yet. And they may not be there. And it's something that I'm not going to sit here and recommend that you sit around and wait for it. Because I don't know. It's not telling me that far ahead. Energy can always change. People can always change. But as of right now, I feel like this is like a house fire that someone lit. And why would you sit on the couch when this is all happening around you, kind of thing? You know what I mean? Like, like I said, they're not being open with you. They're not being honest with you. They're actually shutting you out. And I feel like there is another energy, but I feel like that's more of like part of that self-sabotaging bullshit we got going on here. And even though you don't want to hear it, trust your intuition. Like I said, your intuition isn't going to always tell you what you want to hear. Unfortunately, that isn't the case. But it's always going to tell you what you need to hear. And sometimes we don't want to listen to it because it's telling us something we don't want to hear. That's where mistakes get made. That's just my opinion. I try not to put my opinion too much in it, but that's how I feel about it. And like I said, I mean, I just feel a lot of resistance from this person, even though the feelings are there, even though they see the potential like you do. They're messing it up, and we can't just sit around idle and watch it happen. Now with this person, we have Leo, Sagittarius. We have Scorpio. We have some Cancer. Some Pisces. Some Capricorn, some Taurus. I think Aquarius as well. That's the end of the read for anybody that's here just for the read, but anybody here that wants to hear what I was about to say, I try not to overwhelm the reading too much with my chit chat, because a lot of people aren't here for that. And I appreciate you for showing up and watching me and supporting me. I appreciate you. I love you. But what I was going to say is I've seen some crazy shit. Self-sabotaging stuff. One of these guys I used to hang out with back when I used to work on the oil rigs. He was with this girl for a few years, and it was starting to get serious, and she was starting to pressure him. You know, I want a commitment. I don't just want to be your girlfriend anymore. I want a commitment. Like, where is this going? And he used to talk about it all the time. You could tell that he enjoyed her. You could tell that he cared about her. And, you know, we had them over for barbecues and stuff, and they were a great couple. You know, really compatible. And you know, like, even at work, he would talk about her and just say nice things about her, and just always, like, you could just tell when people talk about them and how they talk about other people when they're not around. And you could tell he really cared about her. Now, when that came up, it was almost like a scared, like a deer in the headlights type energy. But anyway, she went away on a girls' trip or something for a night. And when she came back, he had went out and purchased women's clothing to put around his bedroom so she could find it, think he cheated, and leave him. And he told me this. I was like, what is wrong with you? Like, what are you doing? He's like, well, I was getting serious and she wanted a commitment. I didn't know what to do. And he said, I didn't want to break up with her and hurt her. Like, and I was like, so you think the idea of you cheating on her didn't hurt her? I didn't talk to him again after that, really. Like, just at work, like, passing by, but I never invited him to a barbecue again. I can't surround myself with people that don't make any sense to me. Like, I can appreciate a lot of people and a lot of different ideas and people coming from different places and, with their ideas. Like, I can sit there and listen to someone that I really don't understand, but if they sound like it makes sense, I can listen to them and hopefully I'll catch up. I just couldn't grasp it. And I was like, it sounded like the silliest shit I've ever heard in my life. And unfortunately, that's not the one and only story. I have plenty of them. I've heard of guys changing a name of somebody that they already had in their phone to a girl's name so their girlfriend would see it and it would start a fight and then they'd break up. I've actually heard of guys cheating on their girlfriends or girls cheating on their boyfriends just to end the relationship. I don't get it. If you're not ready, tell her you're not ready. Maybe she'd be understanding. Maybe she wouldn't. But either way, you're being honest with her. And at the end of the day, she gets to decide. I don't want to wait anymore. I'm moving on. And maybe you can still be friends. Or maybe you still have a... And we lived in a small town when I worked in the oil rigs. So that was awkward as shit. And it's... One of my friends, his girlfriend and him were heavily into drugs, and they both got sober, and they were together for a while, and then things were going good. And his girlfriend ended up getting back on drugs really heavily, and they ended up breaking up. But sometimes I think people, it's just my thought process, but sometimes I think when people are so used to shit, when things get good, it's like that's uncomfortable because they don't know what it's like. It's like my cousin, he lives in I'm not gonna, actually I shouldn't say where he lives, but he lives in the States somewhere. And he served in the military. He's seen combat in the military. And his wife said when he came home, he used to sleep on the floor. And he never got a good night's sleep. He always woke up to every sound. Like, he was over there. He was over there for a while. And unfortunately, he got so used to it that he had a hard time reincorporating into life. And I know I have another cousin that, different story, he was in prison for quite a few years. And when he got out, he had a hard time readjusting. And I think that's like, people have that same mentality kind of in life. You know what I mean? If you're used to being poor, you become rich all of a sudden, you don't know how to deal with it. Or if you're rich and you become poor, you don't know how to deal with it. Or if, you're on drugs or you're an alcoholic and you get sober, some people just don't know how to deal with it. Unfortunately, we all work different ways, but it's, at the end of the day, you can try to help someone, but if they're not willing to help themselves, it's only so much you can do. Unfortunately, that's facts. But that's what I have for you. Be good. Take care. Stay safe.